Hello, good morning. Welcome to QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. So wherever you're watching this program, thank you very much for always tuning in. I mean, we appreciate, you following this program. As you know, this is the current affairs program, which, engage you on a lot of things, the newspaper review, the African code, our guest in the studio. We share ideas on this platform. So wherever you are, we are saying good morning to you, a very hot cup of coffee to you and your family, although we don't have one here for now, but I think we should be providing that in due course. Yeah, so I'm with Julde Njai. Good morning, Julde. How are you?
Good morning, Ibrahim. Good morning, Mr. Mboji. And good morning to our viewers from wherever you're watching us. It's always good to be back to share another platform with you and Mr. Mboji.
Exactly. Tey gis nga dafa am lu ma seetlu si Mr. Mboji. Dafa safal adinam. So ko waxe dara mu smile mujje. If you smile, mu smile back mujje.
Dara sonalut ko
daal. Niro ngayo. Mr. Mboji, how naka nga adjuste be nga aga si level bi?
What a journey. What a turbulence.
What a journey. What a journey, huh?
Wow, I don't know.
It wasn't smooth?
No, but journey. Worth its salt, as they say. More smooth.
No, I Mr. Mboji.
Then you will never be tested.
Come your sa journey.
You will never be tested.
Journey. And probably journey you bury dafa different.
Obviously.
Because you understand, you know, there were privileges. Time boom.
Don't go there.
Time boom. Okay. So the far different. Ñun dañoo fogg ne nga jóg rek nga ñëw straight. Different from people who doesn't. The far different, Mr. Mboji.
Wow. Gis ki dina ute.
Wow.
That's very true. I accept. Why? In the end, ni life mel. Ñëpp am na fuñ dee tase.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, life.
Yëpp si benn point la ñoo tase.
Waaw, am na fuñ dee tase. Ndik life du la dee garantie dara. Am na lu door fam dooree. Where would it end? You don't know. It never guarantees you anything.
That's right.
So, moo tax xam nga yenn yi appreciate ko waaye move on.
That's right.
Appreciate ko. Good move on.
Appreciate ko and move on.
You must appreciate.
That's right.
Then go move on. Just don't dwell on too much. Maybe that's not healthy.
Exactly.
Not,
Move on. Moving on sometimes they nahari.
Not sometimes, all the time.
They're tough.
All the time.
There are situations you have they find sababa sometimes. At some point, dang they fogne lidu je.
Wow.
Understand?
That's right.
Dang they fogne du je. Man dama jël suma bopa as a brighter example. Amon na situation yo xamne musna fekk suma bopa ci situation yoyu. Dama fogon ne this lii du musa jee te loolu jeex na ba léegi fàtte naa loolu bu yàgga so keneen ak keneen mu ngi dunda loolu foog ne this is just the end of the world for the person.
That's right. I think all of us to some extent all of us dañ dee am nañ scenarios like that dañ dee dunda loo xam ne ñu feel like ne okay lii du musa jee you know it's either ñu allow suñ boppa pour loolu situation boobu mu consume ñu or you adapt, comme luñ doon wax ni, you walk away from that stronger and better. I think that is the ultimate goal. You know, nga nekk si situation, it's not a problem, but how do you handle it? Danga allow lolu mu consume la or danga walk out of that stronger and better. I think that is what all of us should try to do. Why lolu tamit it's not something easy. Walking out of situations yo xamne they are not comfortable for you. You know, situations yo xamne they are horrible experiences, it's difficult. It is.
So, some people, writers, really, novelists, character, my destiny.
That's right.
Ninga mel, you're in a situation, they fold easily.
Yeah.
You will leave them by the wayside. So you get different characters, you survive a given scenario, a given adversity, a given situation. So there are these differentials. So in the end, then, try to cultivate the virtues in your character. then so face a situation, you can handle it.
Yeah.
Do some work on yourself. Bul foog ne you are okay. Hang on, ku foog ne dafa okay, maybe too much. Do they reflect? Am na lu ñu dee ooyee mind blindness. Do they gis sa bopp really?
Right.
Yes, and that is so important. It's good to reflect. Nga wàññi the delusions. Human beings, we're so delusional. So that's it. Character mooy sa destiny, and
Yeah. Exactly. So
It's a
we
very
will
difficult
be
area.
looking at the African Code, the newspaper review, and then school athletes return in triumph. Momodu Gajawga will be here, and we'll be engaging them. It will be important for us to.
I saw this, wasn't it? International, wasn't it? Schools, competition,
And
our
think
athletes, which
they were able to secure, is it a medal,
Yes.
which is very significant
Nice.
to us. Yeah, so let's deal with the code, Julde.
So our African code this morning, I'm not sure which country it is from.
Yeah. Well, I've seen here Nigeria.
Nigeria, really.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Could be Igbo, Yoruba,
yeah. That's
Hausa,
right.
it could be
That's right.
anything.
So no matter the intensity of a bushfire, the chameleon will always walk like a king. Wow, mana moy burbik. How do you say chameleon in Wolof?
Camilo Kakata.
Kakatar. Wow, kakatar. Mo dey change, colors. So ñëwé fi mu hol color lu ñël mu change. Mu blend.
Blending with the environment.
Environment.
It's a survival strategy,
Right.
isn't it? That's really what it is.
What do you make of this proverb?
It's pretty much straightforward, isn't it? Intensity of a bushfire, yet the chameleon would walk like a king.
Yeah.
So you have the adversity, the bushfire, but you've got this thing, this creature called a chameleon. I wonder why they hadn't chosen something else
Right.
but the chameleon. But we also know that the chameleon, as we just said earlier, it blends, as it were, with the environment. You have that aspect, maybe adaptability, and the poise, walking like a king. What does it mean to walk like a king?
How does a king walk?
I said, what is a kingly demeanor, kingly behavior, kingly virtues? What
Maybe
are the
to be
kingly
calm,
virtues?
Even in the
Under
most
pressure,
complex
isn't it?
situations.
Absolutely. So that's how I judge some of these politicians. They do not know. When you are rattled, especially on social media, somebody will write something not favorable to you, and then you are rattled by it. I'm thinking, you're not a leader. You know what I mean?
That's
A
right.
leader is never easily rattled. Think, you take it at your own pace and you deal with it with composure, poise, as it were. So yes, the kingly behavior under pressure. That's difficult.
But don't you think most of the time chameleons die in bushfires because of their slow movement? I mean, the way they walk slowly.
The way they walk slowly. Yes, it looks like a negative aspect, isn't it? But they blend colors with the environment.
Right.
That is so positive. So they've got negative and positive. So not necessarily that most of them would die in bushfires. Why? I need evidence for that. Proper surveys. You know what I mean? It's a factual. You've asked an empirical, question. Well, I need an empirical evidence. I cannot get it. I do not know. Why should they necessarily? We all have pros and cons. All creatures on earth have pros and cons. Not really. So just leave the chameleon in that way. But this is a brilliant proverb, isn't it?
It's a good
Encouraging
one.
adaptability and calmness and composure, not overreacting to situation or pressure. Even at work.
Nice.
You can apply it anywhere when you are under pressure.
To be calm.
Absolutely. And focus, calm, focus, and, you know.
It reminds me of...
Okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of a gentleman. He got a very aggressive wife. The wife would be shouting, you know, banging doors, shouting everywhere. But the gentleman is very calm young man. Like his demeanor is very calm. You know, so he knows how to control his situations. He doesn't shout back, he doesn't say anything. But he's just calm like that. I mean, the wife would be shouting and doing everything.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, it's very difficult to control yourself in those kind of situations. But if you do, that's the advantage.
Big time. There's a Latin phrase for it. Virtue lives in the middle. Balance. Never go to extremes. Avoid extremes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The middle of the road, as it were, in life. It's always better. It's temperance, isn't it? One of the cardinal virtues. Having temperance really means that. Being in the middle of the road. Avoiding extremism. That's what I just cannot be an extremist. So virtue lives in the middle. So that's why your guy can handle things.
So let's head to the newspaper review.
Interesting.
I mean, for me, I think this time I will rest my case when it comes to.
You think you are in a court?
Yeah, I will just rest my case. We have some of the papers making headlines. Julde, can you take us through? Do you have them?
Yes, we have the Standard photo here. So on the Standard, we have Governor Saidi addresses African Trade Finance Forum in London.
That's Boa Saidi.
Trade.
The Minister of Trade was here.
Yeah, I know.
Yesterday,
and you talked about the how many absconded from the contingent sent to Spain?
It's 3, but we did not get to touch on that. We only focused mainly on his visit to cashew farms. And
so this is it. What is it that they want? God. So what? Yeah, there was a conference when they said whatever. So what next?
The way forward.
Yeah, I know.
What is going to be the benefits of this conference to, you know, the economy of the Gambia? How is it going to change the interface of our trade when it comes to generating income? How is it going to benefit us as a nation?
Opening, you know, well, here you can't talk about really as a nation without considering the wider picture, because we are in trade agreements with either ECOWAS or the EU. So the whole idea is to link up. Really, our ultimate sustainable survival will depend on everybody linking up. Individually, you cannot make it.
But you know, interestingly,
you cannot make it as a group.
When I asked the minister yesterday, I mean, Gambia being a very small nation with 2.8 million people, I was surprised to know.
I thought 2.4.
I was surprised to know we got to that. The minister said it's 2.8.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yes. So, I mean, with that number of, how is the intertrade benefiting this country? I think most of these big nations are benefiting more from the Gambia than the Gambia benefiting from this, because we don't produce. We are not a we are not a producing country.
I understand your fear. So I constantly worry that when we go to these meetings to agree on treaties and whatever, you negotiate. You have so many parties negotiating, and sort of your weight, you know what I mean, will depend on your economy, your military. So I have a suspicion that the bigger countries are sort of benefiting more from some of these agreements than the likes of the Gambia. The idea of a win-win situation is just rhetoric. That's just what politicians use to sell things, but it's never
win-win
like that.
situation.
No, it doesn't work
happen.
like that. No. It's too idealized. Maybe in certain rare situations it could be. You know, we agree on something that both of us potentially stand to benefit, granted. But in most situations, especially in politics, it isn't like that at all.
And you know, my problem with bigger nations is, I mean, big trade nation, is they squeeze the juice out of smaller nations. They make sure they stand out. I mean, they get more advantage when it comes to intertrade than any other country.
Oh, come on, let's be fair. That's what human beings do. It's not about nations, even individuals.
Right.
When I deal with you, I use all the advantages I have, big time, to have a situation that's favorable to me. So that basic, selfish, if you like, instinct is in all human beings, in individuals, and therefore I expect it in groups. You know, individuals constitute groups. So each nation, you're going to go out, you know, to maximize whatever you want the most from situations. So we must look at our comparative advantage. We are small, but there was a time when we had a big voice. So it is possible. To be quite honest, I doubt this country had a big voice, even though it's very small. So it depends on how we handle things. What's our comparative advantage? How do we negotiate in these multilateral negotiations in such that, you know, things wouldn't unduly unfavor us?
That's right.
Stuff like that.
But who's negotiating for us? I mean, how good are we?
Our
How good are
negotiators.
we when we yeah, that's the thing. I mean, how good are we? We don't just have to go and be yes negotiators. I mean,
when you go and say yes, you are not negotiating. You know, you're not negotiating at all. So yeah, sometimes we worry the experience, competence of people in charge, and we should rightfully be worried. You know, what are they doing? Because decisions you take now could have repercussions down the line. You know, the debt or the loans or whatever you're taking now, our children, grandchildren will have to pay for all of that. So that is true. It is important to be worried about what we're doing now that could have, you know, effects in the future.
That's right. Moving on, we have another headline on the Foroya newspaper, and it says government eyes 90% electricity coverage by end of 2025. That's a good. That's
just
good
around the
news
corner.
there.
2025 is virtually gone.
Right.
We are nearly mid-August, and that sort of thing. I do not know what they mean. Having the infrastructure so that I can have access to electricity, that's one thing. Having uninterrupted power supply, that's
It's
another. So
And that is very important.
obviously, that's the whole point. But it's the point of having all these wires when I cannot switch on my lights and have light. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the whole point for me to get light, really. Have we reached a point where we can provide that for 90% of the country? I'm not so sure.
Probably they want to rely on the Rural Electrification Project, I mean the OMVG project. Probably that is what this coverage is talking about, because when you travel to other parts of the Gambia, you can see how they install, I mean, electric, I mean, wires and poles to make sure each and every person gets electricity to your house, to your doorstep. I mean, and these emitters are given for free.
You mean each and every person in the rural area?
Correct.
What you're going to have in the end, in many ways, is an uneven distribution of access, if you like, uneven access across the country. But here we want 90% of the country to have uninterrupted power supply. That's really what we want for now.
My problem is the uninterrupted.
But that's really what we must have. Everybody understands that once in a while emergencies come, even in
big
developed
nations,
countries,
even
they
big
have
nations,
that.
yes.
But this is it. This is emergency situations, not the rule. For us, let's be honest, since independence, really, we've never really tackled the energy issue.
When I was when I traveled to Istanbul, at some point I saw there was power cut once,
Yes.
But that was communicated. It was communicated on mobile phones. It was communicated even on pop-ups, like internet pop-ups. You see, like, they'll tell you, okay, tomorrow power cut will be, okay, from 10 to 12.
Yes.
They are working on some. But it was communicated all over. So when we got to the time, the power went off.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, even, I think last year or so, Buba Baju was here, the communication officer for NAWEC, and he mentioned that they have a target to meet the universal access to electricity by 2025. And President Adama Barrow also recently mentioned that the country will have, you know, 90% electricity by 2025. So let us just be optimistic and hopeful that we are going to, the country is going to have, I mean, it's going to be really good for people to be able to have electricity, but also reliable electricity, water and electricity services, which I think it's key. But again, whether that will happen.
You see, language is funny.
Right.
When you say something like 100% whatever, universal access to electricity, what exactly do we mean
by that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the ground, sort of, what do I expect to see when I look at people's homes? Is it that light all the time, or the usual on, off, or is it that from now on, perhaps we will increase, you know, the time that you are on, the electricity is on, or whatever. So what precisely must I expect, maybe in a year or 2 years' time? Exactly what should I expect? Because that's too abstract. It's too abstract. As we said earlier, there's no point having all the wirings and the bulb and all of that when you don't have electricity from the national grid. So the whole point of having these things, this access, the infrastructure, is for us to have power supply. In the end, it's about power supply.
Let's talk about our stadium. I mean, Mr. Moy, don't you think it's high time we get a new stadium?
Well, I do not know. We are finding it difficult. I'm keeping standards with this one stadium. Now you want to add to our problems?
No, but it's, you know, the problem is, I mean, the stadium we have now, it's an old-fashioned stadium. I mean, we have to agree.
And still, we cannot run the stadium well. Recently, we were banned from holding certain matches. We demonstrated there that we really cannot run the stadium well.
But why are we not able to run the stadium?
Because we cannot run things.
Why?
We see these failures all over the place.
So what should we do? Should we privatize the stadium again?
I would even privatize government.
Really? Really?
Interesting. Privatize government? How it's not going to work?
Let me tell you something, yeah? You know, when you privatize something, so, well, we've agreed that, you know, you will be taking care of some utilities. So we have certain conditions. It's an agreement. Yes? I want you to achieve 60% or 70% of your target at the end of the first year. I have more control over what's happening over there. Public institutions, if they tell you, so they get the guy they were and that's really what it is. Why is Moko privatizing? I'm not mom. You are going to work, otherwise I'm going to lose my license. And I've given you targets. Maybe in 1 month, 3 months, whatever, we're going to get 60% of something achieved. Otherwise, agreement being for binda, you will pay penalties. That is where private sector, Kimom, the hall. The important thing is you've got to have a regulatory body. This is how capitalism works. Independent, autonomous regulatory body, you keep to the rules. Legal services you better improve.
You think the private sector is the solution?
With strong regulatory body, this is inbuilt into this capitalist model of doing economics. You have a strong regulatory body. And then they tend to corrupt all of these things. So it doesn't work for us. Then you blame capitalism.
Why does this? Does this only happen in countries like ours? Because, I mean, in other countries, you can see how government entities are more productive than even some of the private entities.
liñ seetlu Afrique daal the
Because
records.
they have strong institutions.
Mostly you bury public institutions, they're not profitable. Institutions are not really working. Loolu lañ fa gis. Why go to China, for instance? Public institutions work. So China managed what they call economic efficiency. And that's all you need for economic development, not necessarily democracy.
So how do we achieve the economic efficiency?
Economic efficiency.
How do we,
naka lañ ko achieve? The way things are, you need a strong leader with a vision to drive things. So institutions are not working.
They call the leader a dictator.
Not necessarily so.
At the end of the time, when he tried driving these things, because you need to squeeze some colors to be able to.
Well, they call Kagame economic efficiency.
And it's
in
working.
many ways.
It's working for him.
Yeah, economically, I guess politically what they call him.
A dictator.
That sort of thing. Yes, you need a firm leader. So some of what they call modernization theory. When you get a firm, strong leader with a vision, then you manage to make important turns, important economic development in their countries. A firm leader. Why? Let's be careful. And then you've got the murderous ones. You have any national project, then I'm send pause. There's a massive difference between a national vision project and he's just a basic good old-fashioned kleptocrat. Such a regular. So let us be careful, but you need a firm leader with a vision and organizational ability. You need ability. You need to be able to achieve things. Sankara, the vaccinations, 2 million people in 2 weeks. Extraordinary organizational stuff. People thought he couldn't do it. He did. So you need that kind of ability. This is my project. I will carry it from A, B, C, D. Ma achieve F. You know what I mean? Ma achieve. Most people,
So have you sensed that happening in Gambia anytime soon? Or is it happening?
Oh, this is very tricky. It's mixed. In some areas, you're seeing some improvement. But in other areas, it's very slow. Almost sort of non-existent. They're not moving, really. Gambia is a very tough one. We don't see it, but Gambia is very tough. It's so small, but really it's a very tough one. Then the joge from the last regime, Dugachibi. So we still have the DNA, some aspects of the DNA of the Yahya Jammeh era. So that will slow things down. They cannot possibly change themselves. If you want change, you bring new people.
It's sort of a pattern here. So, Mr. Mboy, thank you. Thank you very much. We've already exhausted the whole time. We've exhausted our time. Now we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using Q Money Wallet absolutely free up to $30,000 Use our app or dial 323# and select Q Power. Choose Register Meter. Enter your meter number. Dial *323# and follow these simple steps. Number 1. Select option 3 for Q Power. Number 2. Choose option 1 to buy any amount of Q Power. Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalbe.
Hi there, my name is Nuruddin Adams, a proud product of this noble institution. Heritage Christian University is not just a learning place, but a community that transforms lives and empowers its students to become compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. My journey here has truly been life-changing, and I invite you to come experience the same. Whether your passion is into business, nursing, midwifery, psychology, communication studies, multimedia technology, information technology, or theology and ministry, Heritage has tailored these programs for both the undergraduate and graduate studies to suit your goal. If you're ever ready to take your education to the next level, then pick up an application form and join us today. At Heritage, you are never alone. As members of the community, we'll stand and work with you every step of the way. Welcome to Heritage Christian University.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
At Ajib Bank, we are more than banking. We build bridges that connect you to pivotal services every day. Do you have government bills to pay to the Gambia Revenue Authority, Comfort, KMC, or the Accountant General's Department? We've got you covered. From payment of customs and domestic taxes to GRA, payment of number plate and vehicle ownership transfer to Comfort, payment of property rates and business license fee to KMC, and payment of MR passport, business registration, fishing license, land fees, sale of assets, lease application, development permits, quarrying royalties, gravel and sand, mining royalties, and a host of other revenue lines to the Accountant General's Department. Walk into any of our branches nationwide and make your payments hassle-free. Either in person or online. Simple, secure, and immediate. With Ajib Bank, there is no need to worry about government bill payments for your vehicles, taxes, licenses, business registration, and any other revenue line. Ajib Bank, passionate about your investment. We've got you covered. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using Q Money wallet? Absolutely.
Thank you very much. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. From that newspaper review there, with Mr. Momodu Mboj. Now let's move on to some sports. And we have Momodu Gajaga with us in the studios, and the school at least returned in triumph. Very proud moment for the Gambia sports sector, especially the Olympic Committee of the Gambia. And Momodu Gajaga, it's here. I hope Gajaga, it's going to be a fruitful discussion. By the end of this session, our viewers will definitely understand how far these young people have gone, to make Gambia proud. Yeah, so how are you doing?
Very well, Balde. It always feels great to be here to talk about sports, especially this time we're talking about different sports. We've always been football biased, but when it comes to other areas like basketball, beach volleyball, athletics, we sometimes often neglect them a lot, but they're doing extremely well. So we're talking about the African School Games, which just ended about a week ago, and the Gambia triumphantly won 12 medals in the competition, some silver, others gold, others bronze medals. And just before we get into the program, usually when the Gambia did well in a competition, it starts or ends with something. Let's listen to that first. There you go. That's the Gambia's national anthem after the 3-on-3 basketball team won the gold medal in the African School Games, which was held in Algeria recently. Usually in any competition, it's the athletes who are the most important, and obviously the focus should be on the athletes because they're the ones who achieve a lot. But in this program, because of circumstances beyond our control, we're going to start with the president of the Gambia National Olympic Committee, Baidudu Jallow. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Gajaga. Thank you very much, Mr. Balde and Julde too. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yes, the African School Games, the Gambia did fantastically well, won 12 medals, and you're the president of the NOC. Before they left, you had this advice to the athletes that, yes, in as much as they are going there to participate, but they also need to compete because Gambia had made significant strides in different sporting disciplines. And here we are, they came with 12 medals. How do you feel?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gajaga. I feel really very happy, very, very satisfied with the whole program, how we were able to prepare these athletes. But I think most importantly, how these athletes represented the country in Algeria. It makes me really very, very proud. I really have to thank them for really getting themselves, among the midst of their colleagues and really performing exceptionally well for the country. I mean, putting the country's map, in African sports really at the school level, and this is really remarkable. And I receive a lot of comments from my colleagues, presidents of other national Olympic committees. So a lot of them were very surprised with the performance. But personally, I was not surprised at all because really I always knew that Gambia has a lot of talents, especially at the grassroots level. And really this is again a testimony of the kind of talents we have in our country in various sports. If you look at almost the team that went 26 athletes, 18 of them won medals. It's just remarkable, really. And almost all these sports, most of the sports that went there had medals in beach volleyball, basketball, athletics, wrestling. So it was really a remarkable journey, a competition for us.
How do the Gambia build on this? These are youngsters, and in the schools, games, it's a competition that is given to you to showcase your talent. From then on, maybe you would want to represent your country in the international scene. It's because of their performance in this competition that we've seen the under-18 beach volleyball team invited straight in Nigeria, and they went there and won another gold medal. In fact, we have to say congratulations to them again.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there is going to be another training camp which is going to be in Qatar later this year. These are huge achievements. How do the Gambia build on this?
Yes, I think that's what keeps me thinking, because, from this kind of performance, how do you help these kids to grow to elite level? Because you now need to have a pathway. You need to have this pathway to help these young boys and girls grow to elite level, because these are potential Olympic champions. When Buba and Sabali ran the 100 meters, the president that was sitting next to me, who is the vice president, Anoka, told me, look at the time that these guys are running. And if these guys continue, they are Olympic material. And he was even telling me, Mr. President, you have to take care of these boys, because this is the hope for Africa, not only for Gambia, but for Africa. So what we need is to have a pathway, is to help them grow from this level to the elite level, which is, of course, very challenging, given some of the challenges we have in this country in terms of sports. Challenges ranging from infrastructure to others and others. But really at the level of the Olympic Committee, what we are trying to do now is to look at these kids, where they are, and how do we help them to grow to the next level. So we have to look at opportunities, both within and outside the country, to make sure these opportunities are maximized and help them to, through these opportunities, for them to grow to the elite level. We are also looking at other kind of packages where we are supporting some of those that are in school, continuing their schools. We have to find a way of supporting them so that they move along with their education as well. And we try to see how do we lessen the burden of the education, of the expenses on their education, so that they focus more on their training. So we are really trying to come up with all these packages. Right now, the Minister of Sports is on leave, is in the US, but we want to do this in collaboration with the ministry. So when we have a full package, then we will come out and inform the people. But these are some of the things we are thinking for them, just like what we have done for the beach volleyball from their triumph in Nigeria in the under-18 African Championship, being African champions. We are able to contact our partners in Qatar, and immediately they accepted to host them for 1 month training camp before the World Championship. So these opportunities is what we are also going to leverage on more for most of them. But as I said, we must have a very clear pathway for them to grow into elite, which is very challenging. But if you get these kids from where they are now to elite, these are Olympic materials. And we can even see getting our Olympic medals coming from these boys and girls.
So how are we going to do that? I mean, grooming these young kids, looking at their performance in Algeria, I mean, we've seen how, I mean, they've made everybody proud. But so how are we going to make sure these people are groomed well, considering the infrastructures we have in this country when it comes to athletics?
Yeah, very challenging. But this infrastructure is going to change. I can assure you the country cannot continue like this. I'm sure it will change. The important thing here is it's a holistic thing. You have to look at so many aspects. You have to look at continuous capacity building for even the coaches that are working with them. You have to look at making sure infrastructure, for example, for athletics. Right now there are not tracks. We have to make sure we have tracks where they can train. Locally. We also have to make sure they continue to participate in competitions. This year we have the Youth Olympic Games. The Africa Youth Games is going to come in December. And then next year in July, you are going to have the Youth Olympic Games in Dakar. So we also prepare them for these competitions. And these are the right material to go into these games. So already we have this program for them, which is going to move on. So it's an issue of capacity building in terms of their coaches, but also exposing them in terms of the competitions. But also, alongside, you try to forge partnership where possible to make sure some of them can really go into some centers of excellence and prepare there for certain competitions. So these are all issues that we are looking at. So it's a holistic thing. It's not a one-way thing. So we are looking at a holistic approach in such a way that they don't get stuck where they are. They continue to grow, they continue to develop, so that they can be the Olympic material that we expect them to be tomorrow.
Speaking of holistic approach, many schools in the region lack the facilities or what it takes to actually have sporting activities in their various schools, especially those in rural Gambia. What are you doing to ensure that, or do you have any plans to ensure that those in rural Gambia are also scouted, but they are also supported to ensure that they are included in activities like this?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a very good question and a concern, especially with respect. We are even talking about even urban Gambia not having infrastructure. Let's talk about rural Gambia. But personally, I come from the rural area, so I'm very much concerned about going rural. If you look at even some of the activities that we have done, even the Olympic Day, this celebration this year, we decided to take it to Basse. So that, for the first time, it has always been celebrated here. But this year, we took it over to Basse. So really, I think it has to be a policy. And the key player in this has to be government, really. And we have to bring the partners, especially the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and the Ministry of course, Higher Education. But more so the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Because when you are building a school, we have seen instances where a lot of schools are built, but the associated infrastructure is not going with the buildings that you have. You have just classrooms built and not other structures. So I think schools should be modeled in such a way that when you have the buildings for the classroom, you also have the associated infrastructure that is required for sports, for volleyball, basketball, athletics. You have these fields, going on with the construction of the schools. I think if this is done, then you will see that a lot of the new boarding schools will have the associated infrastructure. And then, people can play football, others can play basketball, volleyball. If we have this, then we really can diversify our sports. I think this is something that we are, as a National Olympic Committee, we are going to advocate for. We are going to also push and encourage the ministry to start to take this kind of direction, especially in the new schools that are going to be, and in any maintenance of schools that is going to be done. But also, as a National Olympic Committee, we are looking at potential people who can invest, who can look at some schools. Maybe I don't want to say some of these things, but we are working with some people really who are giving us very good idea with possible low level of infrastructure, which is very sustainable, that you can put into various schools, especially into schools that are very strategic when it comes to sports. And this is something we are looking at. And also going to the regions also, we are not looking at only here, but we are looking at having some of these infrastructures in the regions. And these are all things that we are trying to see how we can do. It's not yet certain, but really within the mandate that we have in the coming 4 years, we want to at least start moving the infrastructure from where it is to another level.
Yes, now to the athletes, focus is going to be on basketball, athletics and beach volleyball. First, let's start with gold medal athlete Amadou Sabali, 100 meters, and also ran in the 4x100 meters relay, did fantastically well. Amadou, how does it feel to be a gold medalist for the Gambia?
Yeah, it feels good to be a gold medalist for the Gambia because it's not easy at all to go to these African Games, winning a gold medal, looking at all the countries, it's not easy at all. But Alhamdulillah, we have done it, and we are so happy that the country is helping us in this kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, we're expecting a double-double in terms of gold medal. What happened in the 4x100 meters relay that it ended up in being silver?
Oh, that was the 200 meter.
Yeah, the 200 meters.
The 200 meter. Yeah, it was a tough race, you know. Yeah, we are doing our best, but thank God that we don't lose, but we came out with a silver medal.
Medal, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are your expectations in terms of building on this? Because your timing has been really fantastic for a young athlete at the school level.
Yeah, it is really encouraging, and we are hoping to, you know, do more on this.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Abdullah Taylor, basketball. You did very, very well, won the gold medal. In fact, the first gold medal in the competition. We saw your pictures there in the video where the Gambian flag has been hoisted, raised so high. Tell us how it feels.
It felt amazing because there's a lot of countries in Africa, and hearing your national anthem being the one played, it felt really, really amazing. We felt like we were actually representing the country there. It was also amazing.
Some of the matches that you've played against other countries, you've been very dominant, highly competitive. The final was very tough and little closer. It was almost like neck and neck, but eventually you triumphed. What did you work on? Why were you so consistent?
Well, it was just a matter of knowing what's at stake, because it's the final. It's like the last game. You can go to the last game and be playing a little bit slow. We started slow, but then we knew like, we have to step up and win this, because it's just one game. Put all into it, then the rest was history.
Wow, fantastic. And that's 3-on-3 basketball, so you have 3 basketball players, and then you would have the other one kind of being the substitute when one of them is injured or tired would come in. So it's 4 of them, but he's representing at least the basketball team, just like the beach volleyball and also the athletics. They're in groups, so it's like they have a team sport, they have an individual sport. Yeah, but obviously that's how we decided, because we cannot have everybody in the studio.
Everybody here.
And now to beach volleyball. Well, Amadou Jaju has been a beach volleyball player himself, now retired. Now he's helping the young ones grow. Well, Amo, welcome and congratulations for the silver medal.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Bella. Thank you for having us here. You know, we are glad to be here. First of all, we want to thank our Gambia Volleyball Federation. We want to thank GNC for supporting us. And I also want to thank my players for their wonderful performance down there in Algeria. So as a coach, I'm glad, you know, to have such players within. So really, they did amazing job outside. They make the whole nation proud. They make me proud. They make everybody proud in Algeria down there. So as a coach, I feel great.
You were also expecting goal in both the male and the female category. What happened along the line?
Yeah, it was not easy, because we all know in sport, the host nation, you know, having the host nation in final, both genders, it was not easy. But thank God we managed to have silver in Algeria. But that was a lesson to us, because if you can see, we took that, you know, fighting spirit to Nigeria, so we, you know, managed to bring the goal. So Alhamdulillah.
That must be something special.
Yeah.
Just immediately from the competition in Algeria, they went to Nigeria, and this is a competition where they were invited. Yeah. They went there and then won the gold medal. Yeah. Something special.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think my players, they fight for it, because if you can see, it was not easy. You know, many African teams were there. So, but my players, they really fight for it. So I'm glad, you know. And I think the support of GNOC and Gambia Volleyball Federation make the difference. Because if you can see the experience they took from Algeria, that helped them in Nigeria. I think that makes the difference. So I want to thank GNOC and Gambia Volleyball Federation. Yeah.
Well, we were trying to be gender sensitive here, and hopefully I think we did well, Julde, by having Mariama Sambu. Mariama also was part of the team that won the silver medal in the women's category in the African School Games in Algeria. Mariama, tell us, how does it feel?
Thank you so much. I feel so happy represent my nation and to get a silver medal. Though I wanted gold, but couldn't get gold, so I get silver. So.
Yeah. Your partnership with Hodja, tell us, how did it work? You guys gelled very well.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be Hodja's partner because she's a great player and she's more exposed to beach volleyball than I. This is my first time. So it's a great opportunity and a pleasure for me to have partnership with Hodja. I'm really glad that I have to learn from her and to be much motivated by her because if you see her career, every young athlete will just be, you will pray to be like her. So I'm happy for our partnership.
Okay. Well, Amo, just before my colleagues come in, now you qualify for the World Championship. At the same time, you have this opportunity with your team to have a training camp in Qatar. Tell us, how is that going to help your team in terms of competitive level of your players?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, I just want to add something there because if you see this training camp will help my players because now we are going for World Championship and we all know World Championship is not an easy task. So I think this training will help the players in terms of technical, and some areas. We'll go there and and use this opportunity to adjust ourselves so that we can be able to to challenge other countries, high level countries, So I think this training.
Yeah, you can use that mic.
So I think this training will help us really because we will try to use this opportunity to help ourselves, to adjust ourselves, to try and adopt the environment because the championship will be in Doha. So it's a great opportunity for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So for me, I am particularly interested in the challenges that you were confronted with during this preparing for this competition, both on and off the pitch.
Go ahead, Julda.
Yeah.
So I was saying that for the fact that your team emerged victorious both in medal and silver, it must have been very, very challenging for you. So what were some of the challenges that you encountered preparing for such a very big competition?
Yeah, sometimes we have challenges really, but to me as a coach, I don't have much challenges because like Gajaga said, I was a player before, so now I'm a coach. So all these such things, I go through it, so it makes things easy for me. So I don't have much challenges, I experienced it before, so now it's not a problem to me. Yeah.
Is this not the first time most of them are participating in international competition?
Yes, two players, that's Mariama and Abdullah, this is their first time. So, but they managed to cope because with the help of their partners, because like she said, Hodja, she had been playing for beach volleyball in many occasions. So her partner helped her out a lot in the court. And me also, I try to motivate her as a player, just for her to believe on herself that this is just a game, just let her just believe on herself. And Abdullah also, this was his first experience, so his partner also helped him a lot. Ensa helped him a lot because Abdullah is a defender, Ensa is a blocker. Through communication, he used to motivate him, in the court, So it was.
So let's make this. Let's spice it up a bit in our local language. Probably, most of our local viewers want to know what's happening. What is the Gambia going into? Ñi ci luñ nekk lan la gaay tok ni ci télé bi. Bëggon nañ nga wax ñu.
Yes.
You are.
Mandinga kao?
Mandinga kao.
Mandinga kao mwele. Hello.
Ika olof fole.
Anga olof fole.
Okay. Wax ñu tuuti. Yow ci ban competition nga demoon ak lan nga gagné fofu?
Yeah, man athletic la demoon. Mo nekk daw. Te numa gagné mo nekk bronze on 100 meter.
Okay.
Ak silver 200 and with the combination of relay, this medley relay, fofu lañ win gold medal.
Okay. So naka nga feelee boo demee bañ ne ok Gambia moo win lii lan mooy yow sa yëg-yëg bés boobu.
Yeah, dama over kontaan lii boobu. Yeah.
Yaaga nga train si lii.
Yeah, yaaga naa train since last year. Around September may train pour lii rek.
Okay. So yow léegi lan nga gis si kanam lan nga bugg a def I mean from here win nga medal so ëllëg léegi naka ngay def pour nga mun a maintain lii because waruloo nekk si benn place da nga war a move on understand nga pour nga mun a nekk ay world star ëllëg so lan nga pare pour def soo fi jógee.
Just dama war a focus ma train hard mooy yëpp.
Okay, all right, interesting.
So yow boo doon dem si competition bi was there any point in time nga toog nga am doubt si sa boppa ne maybe yow doo gagné si competition bi how was it like boo doon dem si competition bu mel ni le.
Yeah, just fekk may am pressure like it was my first time xam nga. So xam nga easy nag dem represent full country and boo mu nekk suma first time so and here in Gambia xam nga amul track fu ñoo train so fu ñu dee train si suuf la and soo demee competition bi si track ngay dem so xam nga loolu tamit easy wut.
So naka nga dooree this game bi is it something that you always wanted to do or danga ko def rek by chance.
Yeah, game bi moom mun naa dam ko def by chance because time boobu man footballer la I was forced by my teachers.
Interesting. Okay.
That's very.
So do you see yourself doing football again or you want to continue on this one?
No, I stopped football now.
You stopped football?
Yeah.
Nice, amazing. Okay.
Yeah, so Abdoulaye, basketball, yéen da ngeen dee jànkuwanteel problems yu bari in terms of infrastructure waxoon nañ ko fii soo leen ay train bare concrete ngeen dee train nit mun na faa daanu fakatalu wala maybe nga am bruises ak yooyu noonu dem ngeen si competition bi gis ngeen how advanced other countries are in terms of development so yow soo ñëwee si wàllum infrastructure looy bugga authorities yi Gambia bay dudu mu ngi fi ministry bi government bi pour ñu defal leen ay coach yu baax foo xam ne mun ngeen faa train soo leen fa trainer then international competition ngeen mun a compete ak seen morom yi at a higher level.
loolu dinañu jàppale trop. lu bu gën a important moo nekk dañ soxla indoor court parce que dëkk bi amul indoor court te suñ amee benn dina dimbale not basketball kese sport yu bari. parce que di nga gis benn indoor court basketball mun na ko use volleyball handball futsal so benn indoor court daal suñ ko amee dinañu jàppale lu bari parce que da ngaa gis am na yenn events yi yow dëkk bi su fekkee amuloo indoor court doo si mun a bokk nga duñ la jéem a sax invite parce que infrastructure bi nekk ko fa te yaa ngi gis tam 3-on-3 bu ñu jógee play ni ñun ñu ngi ko doon trainer si concrete te foofu soo demee is a comme plastic sort of foofu nga ko dee play so loolu noonu yëpp yow player bi su fekkee mun loo adjust very quickly mun na moo nekk loo xam ne tamit daf laa sonal.
Exactly. Itemu moldi mi anko e beach volleyball player no before for up to professional level sa evele kita koiti yenyin adiningol mako e aldara Algeria fale silver medal o winje fo mole competition o nyin akita tol fe nyaadi le anim fanan albe mun keno la pour ka yirwa so nyin to nyaato sini
okay abaraka baka gajaha antul kay beach volleyball kay fenno mi alon ko laftala kabirin juna so saying played for high level so saying keda koiti so saying semin keno wolon ka dinol makoy because ni aje mol lente makoy no so nte fanan na penkolo nyantolo pour nga dinol makoy mi be duma so mbole ke ka rek ngole ke ntara Algeria nin dinole nyo makoy fo nga try nga two silver so Gambia so dinolo mi alan koy paretala pour kake because ni man pare no pour kake abi kola la bagal bodi ke la moyle andu wato ko training ni ka parele pour kana so anyole mako je wala tina ni the help of volleyball federation and in GNOC ñoo mako le kada je wala nam be succeed
Mariama fana ka kumo kunna sudi ande doro ni competition tata je ye medalo soto na nje ava molle
ya among easy pour kata je parce que ndafa na nyina na first time di kata so pressure do mandim benum kanne kata ka Gambia represent but thank God ala mako ele na silver soto amang easy na pour ka fo Gambia no la amang easy kata ka compete outside especially ni la first time long you don't have experience and mo la jang ka kop nyama ni jama ke clienti it's very hard.
Yeah, just maybe finally nga jele Cabral natanang Y'all welcome le ko president, you know. Bara pedi terminal to jang Banjul, you know, inata y'all welcome alning mil welcome team o nyindata Banjul al bota je al data fo GNOC. Ala fo nyedal mun kontan kula modi. Yes, God.
Like Punte, I feel so emotional. Kadun de mine kata GNOC woluntol tiji. Bol birintol fananate mol welcome kule. It's a great pride. Comme ça mo be kontanina ye welcome. I feel so happy there.
Happy.
So Mariama ite mumusolti fonyin keta kule timeme yan ko elafta wala kala non kabring idindima for comme manta bengole ndanaka comme in itata le doron is by chance e comme matunga nyin try for it's something that you're passionate about.
Ani ntaka borole kenum. Ntamu borlale tinum but
wow.
During coronavirus time mol bukata anu in school so ko dole nata no molia and tolbe ta kamo training de then nata volleyball like more than anything. Walen dundi volleyball ko.
Wow. So you support certainly at home more you support le because ngalo ne ko jang especially ni mu musolti idunta kudol kono maybe football or volleyball or boro e ka fo ne ko mi manke musukoti. Ye pressure certainly ne at home for your support so gal ye support le no.
Na pressure certainly back e fang. Parce que wotemo aning na school ta dol katale ka fo na parents wole ko ni mu musolti anda bala career tinya kan school oto amanya na duna sport kono Gambia jan sport bukata handula e buka hani fen soto so kunja wolen ko manam fo bi yen stop ala several times so ni yen stop nka sneak le ngata nga tirin nga nana wolen futandi bito andum lafta fo Gambia no le yo comme wo concept si fa nyenta bolale momo ning ale ye hadje ka dame non this is sport ni mo lafta mena a encourage kana discourage anda manke comme ye gender violence ka fo ni mu musolti ni mu kewalti wo man na kala we are all equal anu kewo se min keno muso sa keno 100%.
Mashallah. Wow, that's my girl there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. Real courage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, real courage and determination. Yes.
So finally, what do you have to say before we wrap up?
Well, I just have to thank you for inviting us here. This is very good. This is another important platform where it's going to publicize what we have done. But also I want to thank the government of the Gambia because they really supported this trip under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They supported this trip. Also thank the athletes, you know, for their performance and everybody who have helped us. It was not easy. I think we started very early. The preparation was well done, and you see there was even a campaign for all the athletes in one place, training them in different aspects of sports, like anti-doping and many other things. And I think we also arrived early in Algeria, give them time to acclimatize, to go to the tracks and some other places to train number of days before their competitions. I think all these things was factors that have helped us to achieve. But I want to thank everybody, the media, but really everything goes back to the athletes for how they were able to comport themselves and perform at that level and win us 12 medals, which is unprecedented in this country, and, you know, bringing home the biggest medal count from this for the country from this competition makes me very proud. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Momodu Gajaga. Thank you, Baduru. I mean, we are hopeful. I mean, under your leadership, there will be a lot of changes because you are connected to the media more than, you know, what I've been seeing as far as Olympic Committee is concerned. So we are hopeful there will be changes and there is hope at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for coming.
Yes, it's
and
a pleasure.
you know, we hope to have a lot of this in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Julde,
yes,
this is all we have. Thank you very much for coming. Gentlemen and lady, until we come here again, enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.
Thank you.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain,